Hey everybody, think I'm live. This is Mary Ellen. Happy full moon eclipse in Capricorn Day, also 4th of July, Independence Day here in the United States. I'm thrilled to be here. I know that a lot of people are out and about having fun. Hi Tani, nice to see you here. So I'm gonna jump in. I've done the usual, which is I do a little bit of look into the astrology. I am not an astrologer. I'm an interpretive. My guides are talking about the way I interpret the astrology in ways that are somewhat unique, probably because I'm not an astrologer, so my focus is different. So we're going to talk about that. We're just going to see where we're at, where's the energy, what's going on. I've taken some what I call crib notes from Pamela Gregory and Molly McCord, and those videos will be linked below when this live stream turns into a video. Well, my guides are talking already. So we're going to jump in. I've pulled out a couple oracle cards, and while I'm finishing doing that, we're just gonna go through the astrology a little bit, and then afterwards, if you have time, any of you who would like to hang out with me for a little bit, I have some time this afternoon. Not a lot, so we're going to try to keep this reading relatively brief, so that all of you that are heading out to have some fun for the 4th, or having your own barbecue in your backyard, as the case may be. Okay, okay, guides are saying this one and this one, so that's from the Journey of Love. So, gang, we have, as most of you probably know, we have Mars in Aries for the next 6 months. It's going to be a little hot and spicy, we know, especially those of us that are here in the States, and there are a lot of movements rising up. That's the benefit of Pluto and Capricorn. And Mars is just going to intensify, because Mars in Aries, as an Aries rising, I know you want to go forward, and with a lot of intensity now, and a willingness to sort of get into to bring passion, to bring internal energy to the external, my guides are saying, dilemma. So the urge and the demand for social structures to move forward will continue for the next 6 months. It's going to be intense. So let's see. We have Mars in Aries moving into retrograde from September 13th all the way through November. So it's going to be, again, as we all know, it's going to be a very spicy year. Things are going to intensify around the days leading into the election. So the purpose of all this is to help us move past obstruction. That's why Mars is there. Mars is the dynamite, in a sense, in Aries. So radiant energy, the desire to see through clearly the pathway, and then Mars just adds more intensity. So let's see. Oh, and Mars is going to be in conjunction also with Eros, the goddess of discord, arguments. So we're going to be, my guys are showing me a picture of, like, if you were a married couple and something was coming up from inside the relationship that had to stop so that you could move forward further into knowing each other and knowing what the relationship is for. They're showing me like plates being dropped on the ground and smashed as a point of emphasis, like this has to stop. So that's interesting. Let's see. So the other thing that's on the menu is feminine energy awakening, because of these kinds of conjunctions, and they're going to be a lot of squares with Jupiter, with Saturn, with Pluto, all the way through to January 2021. So I believe that we're going to continue to be in the situation that we're in generally. The amount of discord is going to continue to intensify, I believe, and I think, and my guides are talking, of course, about the election cycle. Some part of the dominant power structure that exists is digging in its heels, as we know. And then my guides are saying, so there's that. And then everything else, as Pluto will do, earthquakes and volcanoes are coming up from under the ground. And that's what's going to shake the structure loose, cause it to fall in the ways that it's meant to fall for our benefit in these moments. So I'm not predicting the outcome of the election. I'm just speaking to the process that we're in and the things we're experiencing. And it also has to do with our internal experience of our own lives. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. So let's see. In August, October, and December, there's going to be a conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, squaring Mars at 22 degrees Capricorn, which is the cycle that was started last January, I think on the 20th of this year. So that cycle is going to continue, and we're just going to have more and more and more compression and intention and explosion and things breaking apart. And my guys are talking about the things that are coming up from the deep. That's what Pluto's all about. So if you don't know about Pluto's energy, it is about deep. It's about power that comes from the deep. And it has a very, my guides lately have been, and I'm hearing it now, that when there's an earthquake, the sound that makes, it's that powerful. So that's the phase that we're in all the way through till the end of the year. So let's see. And then Pluto's going to be retrograde to 22 degrees of Capricorn from August to November. So Pluto's going to be moving in and out of retrograde as things just sort of continue. And my guys are talking about the phases of the pattern of the way this upheaval is happening. Jupiter is going to be at 22 degrees of Capricorn this month from the 8th to the 16th. So they're both still in retrograde. So again, it's a very internal process that we're experiencing in our own lives. I'm certainly experiencing it. I know that once again, my life is about to change because I'm changing. My capacity as a human being, my capacity as a spirit being, the things that I am learning. So part of this, because we have Sag in the South Node, we're letting go of the things that we have clung to into these moments. And we'll be taking stock of that and allowing that to fall away through all of this upheaval while Gemini carries us forward. Well, my guides are saying toward the destination of Aquarius when that shift happens. So let's see. Pam Gregory talks about this as if we are in a very productive chrysalis internally as individuals. So through this process, in a sense, we're turning to goo. And I'm certainly experiencing that in my own life to some degree. Things are changing. I know they are. I have some inklings about it, but I'm not going to predetermine the outcome. I will continue to do my efforts at manifesting my dreams, and I will also work in concert with the universe. So that's the advice. So Miss Molly McCord, she talks about this cycle, and this is the last Capricorn eclipse until 2028. And we've been going through these cycles since 2015. So a very important 5-year cycle of internal change and shift. It's affecting the planet because as we take up our own power, then we begin to demand it from external sources, and we demand this new structure as our birthright within the societal structure that we have. So this eclipse, according to Molly, is a turning point eclipse. It's asking us to change. It's a completion eclipse. It's time to honor our power and complete this 5-year cycle of change now. So you're going to have completions in projects. You may have been working on a long-term project. There may be a phase in your career coming to an end. There may be a phase in your relationship to your sacred other and to yourself that's coming to a close, and you will feel it coming up from within you. You may find a relationship that was very important to this cycle of change coming to an end. It's done its job for you. And as my guides always say, you know, your soulmate, their job is to walk you to the gateway of the next phase of your existence. So I do expect that those folks who are in relationships that were partnered for the purpose of bringing forward shift and change, walking each other to the gateway, those relationships can fall away now. And you take yourself and you weave that into your being. And then I think after the turn of the year, we all leap forward in a way that's pretty giant, actually. So let's see. Molly talks about how the retrogrades of Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn through this period do focus on, because everything's in retrograde, then part of the reflection is that it creates an internal process. While we as a society, we as a group of beings, my guys are speaking now about evolutionary shift and change. So all those things are on the surface, if you will, and we as individuals are turning inward in a way that's gigantic, and we will not be the same. So I find that to be a very hopeful message through these turbulent times, because what it really means is our societies will not be the same. Our expectations as a class of beings, human beings, will not be the same. Our abilities will not be the same. So I think it's a time to let yourself turn to goo a little bit, be very artistic, do a lot of future forecasting, future inventions. It's time to do a lot of manifestation dreaming while you're letting yourself actually completely surrender to the process. So here's what the Oracle cards have to say. I love this because we have, actually, let me get rid of my little crib notes, and the staff is the first thing that comes forward. So the staff bonded with this, Turtle Island. So we are literally making a new foundation, all the things I was talking about. The staff is actually about, the text, I'm putting the wrong card down. The text talks about some of the Judeo-Christian stories about Moses leading people out of bondage. And now I'm getting a little choked up because it's intense, isn't it? Given all the things that are on the menu for discussion, that's exactly what's happening. It's about carrying your power on the inside, knowing your correct station, knowing the place into which you are walking, and carrying the staff to lead yourself and all of humanity forward. All sentient beings here in this place. And like Moses did, if you know that story, led his people out of bondage. It's a very poignant story matched up against the astrology. So going to a new land. So Turtle, we're working with still the Cancer energy, and we are literally creating a new dwelling place, a new landmass, a new structure, if you will. And we are leading ourselves forward. That's what's beautiful about this. It's really intense. It's really beautiful. So it's time to really know your own power. That's why you're turning into goo. If you feel yourself turning into goo. And then I pulled from the Journey of Love. Look at that. Look what came out. Okay? Ethereal touch and the ancient ones. So we know that we are, see, that's where we're at. And I think each and every one of us are going to feel ourselves going through this process. I am certainly feeling it. And we are witnessing for each other. The tractor beam of the ancient ones. And look, there we are. Ethereal touch. Like guys are saying, that's what it looks like when we turn to goo in this kind of a moment. It's very ethereal. And we touch into the place of our, my guys just said the word exact, our exact energetic spectral signature. It's these moments while all this upheaval is going on, we will be able to touch that. We will be able to see that. You will be able to recognize yourself in this way because this is happening. It's fantastic. So let's just see what my guides have to say. I'm going to pull some cards. I just want to show you what's on the bottom of the deck. See that? Three of Swords. My guys have been talking about the heartbreak that we're going through and the way our hearts are cracked open. So they want me to go ahead and use that. Oh, this is beautiful. So that's the theme of the reading. We're going to talk a little more about that, I guess. We're pulling each other up now because we're doing these processes that are coming forward due through the astrology. And look, there's today. That's us today. So if you have any doubt, today and tomorrow and the next few days going forward, this energy is going to be with us. It's going to be very intense. It was cloudy here last night, so sadly I didn't get to see it. So one of the things we know is that in this moment, when this massive completion point arises, it's not exactly true, but all the planets are retrograde. All the major planets are retrograde, except Venus. And she rises in the sky, and she has shifted from the night star to the morning star. So if it's clear where you are, you can get up in the wee hours of the morning and see her shining with the full moon. I got a glimpse of it yesterday. So that's the Two of Cups. That tower was built for Merlin, who's dressed in blue, by his sister, that's who's holding his hand, when he had sunk into madness, my guides are saying, kind of like where humanity's at. And then there came forward the ability for him to look out upon the world and have many perspectives, many doorways to enter and leave his dwelling place from. So I think we're going to be doing that. We're going to be leaving our dwelling places, meaning our human form, and we're literally going to be connecting to the sacred, the information, the sacred waters, the light, if you will, that comes through these many perspectives on this full moon. It's very tender. It's very beautiful. Do you see how they're just clasping each other's hands? There's telecommunication going on. And you see the new growth. You see the berries and the flowers growing. Something fabulous is happening. So, given the fact that we had Turtle coming out, and it's talking about, a new landmass, Turtle Island is North America, according to the native people who were here. So that's the card for a new foundation. That's fantastic. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. A new foundation. That's what my guys have been talking about. That is the Six of Wands. We are going to have victory. These moments are going to lead us to victory. I'm not predicting. My guys are talking about the election. I'm not going there, at least in this moment. It's not what it's for. So I know as a collective, most of the people in the United States want change. Some do not. Some want things to go forward in the dominant power structure that we have. And so that's what the Pluto energy is for. That's what the earthquake is for. Moving literally the tectonic plates in order to create a new foundation, a new landmass. Because if we're going to bring forward something new and finish completion cycles, there has to be a new resting place, doesn't there? So I love this. It's male energy, open from the waist up, looking in to the darkness, using the creative fire of the universe. We don't know what this person is creating. We just know that it's happening and that they're working with the universe. Over the last couple days, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of fabulous people. And as I've been sort of resting myself, because the energy is really intense for me, I've been thinking about, and in our Sunday meditation, we've been doing exercises about melding in to the shimmering darkness of the universe, the place from which the light emits itself and travels through in order for us to be able to see it. So there's that kind of a notion going on. And there is apparently a black hole has been discovered that is bigger than anything that has ever been seen before, and it's literally sucking everything around it in. So I'll try to remember to post that link. It's fascinating, and I'm making it up because I don't really know, but let's say 100 billion times bigger than our sun. It's gigantic. So we are working with this energy. So let's just let the universe do its job. That's my vote. My guides are saying that's my vote. So that's us on human realm. Just sitting together in these moments. Your hearts have been cracked open. Let that be. Oof, okay. Let that be your guide, my guides are saying. There we have that. See that? That's a 10 of Cups. So here we have victory, 6 of Wands. And it's victory in creating something new. We're going to be successful. And that brings forward this 10 of Cup moment for all of humanity. We're discovering ourselves. We're discovering our hearts. We're discovering that we do have, oh my God, just said, we do have the kingdom of heaven within us. And I don't know what the companion verses would be for other religious traditional set points, but it's that kind of a notion. I don't want to exclude anybody. Not my intention at all. So we discover ourselves. We discover the love energy that we want as our foundation, because that's the foundation that we're building. Fabulous. Thank you, Spirit. And when that foundation comes forward and we create that new landmass, the way volcanoes can create a new landmass and earthquakes can shift and change the way a landmass is ordered, my guides are saying, it's going to send us on this fabulous adventure, Knight of Wands. We're going to get a sacred impulse. And we're going to use the mystical magic of the moment of turning into goo. And we're going to feed ourselves on that. And our intentions are going to be very honorable, purity of spirit. And we're going to go straight forward. And that will be an initiation point. So all is being made new, which I really love this. The dedicator of lore. That's the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. That's how deeply we're having the desire to sacrifice ourselves in order to go through the eye of Odin to find wisdom. Do you see how that person is marked, blindfolded, willing to have this incredible journey? Thank you, Spirit. Mystical journey. This way, of course. Don't know where we're going. I think we have an inkling, but you see the energy? So we're taking on, that's the goddess of sacrifice. She's given this initiate the amulet because he is accepting the energy. And he's blindfolded. And destiny is turning. Fantastic. Thank you, Spirit. So, incredible things coming forward. And on a soul level, so that's us in our human existence, in the suit that we're wearing. Let's talk about us as spirit beings, as strings of energy, as my guides always say. Well, no questions there. There we are, diving deep into the consciousness of the dark, shimmering universe. That's what we're doing on this day. So if you have any time, allow yourself, just lie on the couch, close your eyes, breathe it in. Allow yourself to be in this energy. And if you have time and you're available, please come and join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. And we've been progressing through a process that's been, I think this is week number 11. So we've been progressing my guides are talking about training and ability, yes. However, our understanding of that kind of travel and how to meld into the universe, to understand your own vibration, and then walk with it. Here in this place, that's how we weave the tapestry. So tomorrow, we're going to be working on the third eye. We are literally going to be using this sacred vision to weave together the strings of our destiny. That's the Queen of Pentacles. Abundance on earth. In this deck, she is the sacred grandmother, and she's weaving together the strings of destiny for her children on this full moon eclipse because of all the energies that exist. It's truly a destiny moment. And look, that's the Death card. That's what's next. I love this. Thank you, Spirit, so much. The name of the card in this deck is the Liberator of Devotion. That is a sacred symbol that can be found in the places where the Celtic people lived that was, my guys are saying, added to, plastered to. Because of the way my house is built, I kind of understand it. So Christian peoples who were trying to forward their religious ideals and goals, traveling across from, my guides are saying from the east to the west, meaning across Europe, built churches in many of the most sacred pagan sites in order to help communicate and co-opt and sometimes sadly control, etc., the people that were living in those places. And here's what my guides are telling me. And what the women did, and that's not a fact that anybody knows, I'm making an assumption. Probably the women, possibly the Druid priests and priestesses, they would, I'm guessing it must have been in the night, they would come to the church and they would plaster this onto the wall. Nobody knows where they came from. There's no historical document that explains where they came from, but all of a sudden they were there. And I think it was an acknowledgement that we understand that this place is the sacred portal for your belief system. And if you're going to put it on our sacred site, we're just going to remind everybody as they enter the church the place where they really are, and the fact that they are going through a portal to reach the sacred. So I love that. So that's what we're doing. That's our destiny. Let's get one more card, and then I'll pull a rune for us, and I'll come over to the chat room. We'll chat a little bit, and if you're going out to a picnic or something, I'm kind of wishing you wouldn't. I assume we all I'm assuming we all know what's going on. So I prefer, okay, there it is, just popped out. I'd prefer that we all stay home. I did a little social distancing dinner with my daughter, who I haven't seen since October. Made some food, put a table outside, big long table. That's how we did it. And we happen to know that we're all negative in that moment. So just be careful, okay, gang? So, two things are true for the outcome. And I think this is speaking to the process. So look, this, obviously the sun card. That's the last card. It's going to be okay. We're coming into the full light of the sun. And we have this uranium energy, Uranus, radiant energy, Mars and Aries. The protector of sacred lore. The sun card. Coming fully into the light of realization and awareness and our abundance, etc. But what comes first is this. That's the Seven of Wands. So a lot of us are feeling defensive. There's definitely a fight going on. We don't have to sugarcoat it. We know. So there's going to be an adventure. But you see that little mouse? That little mouse has a lot of power. Do you see how it's sitting, looking confident in this little wheat field? It's got all the food it needs. See how it's sort of rubbing its hands together? I think that's the anticipation that we have while we continue to go through these battles that are going on internally, in your home. Families are splitting apart because of these political arguments. And we've had a lot of, oh my guys are calling it turf wars. They're talking about this is like turf wars. So we're going to continue to feel the need and desire to engage in them. Mars in Aries with, I can't remember now, is it square or conjunct Eris? Oh, darling. My people, my guys are saying, my people. One of my friends, new friends from the meditation group, has a similar chart standings, my guys are saying, that I just, so we've sort of been talking about what it is to have Aries as a rising sign, and the, and I have Scorpio, and just, I don't put up with much. And so she coined the term Aries mouth goddess. Yeah, I don't hold it back. If I have something to say, I say it. So it's that kind of stuff. And we're all doing it, and I think we should. I think it's absolutely one of the mechanisms of completion and shift and change. So as long as we are respectful and, no violence, just, the good way, right? I think the strife and the arguments are actually very important, and very important to vote, and very important to demand the right to vote, and those kinds of things, given the types of items that, and I'm just now talking about the United States, obviously, the things that we are struggling with. The dominant power structure, creating this situation where there's literally massive amount of voter suppression and closing all the polling places and no. So one of the things I'm sinking into politics. One of the things that I've done is I've tried to be very proactive. So I'm making a lot of down ballot micro donations. I've been doing micro lending through kiva.org, another fabulous way to bring change, to empower people. Micro loans, hundreds of dollars worth of micro loans, a little bit at a time, all over the world, in order to empower people to come into their own abundance in a way that's not typically available to them. So I've been doing the same thing with the politics. If you're broke and you're on unemployment or you're not getting it or whatever the case may be, you can give $3 to the person in Texas and $3 to the person in Virginia and Georgia and Tennessee and Kentucky. That's what I've been doing. So my guides they're telling that story because they're talking about the appropriate way to have these arguments and these battles, if you will. And one of the things I think we're moving away from is this kind of bickering, because this is also about, arguments and bickering and feeling defensive and standing your ground and not being willing to bend. That's part of what's coming into completion. I do believe the pendulum has swung all the way to both sides of each extreme over the last 20 years or so. So we've had examples of each. Now the natural outcome will be to come to a resting place in a centered way. So this is going to continue. Fight the good fight if you're fighting a fight. If it's inside of you, be kind. Be kind to, all the external things to the best of your ability, and you have to stand in your truth. Okay? That's why we have the Hanged Man here and some of the other aspects. Expect to have success and expect to come into this and then this. So, gang, let's pick from the bag of runs and we'll see. Spirit, can you tell us a little bit more about this adventure? The way in which we lead ourselves forward. This is what, one of the things that I love the most is that this card came out. The staff. We are walking forward. We're going to have to part the sea so that we can walk through the divide into a new place and create a new world there for ourselves in these ways energetically. And it is going to be a death and rebirth process. And on a soul level, that starts today. It's really beautiful. So in case you're new and you don't know, the picture of the card spread will post on the community tab on my channel, so just go to my homepage, okay? All right, Spirit, please tell us what we need to know on this beautiful day of eclipse. For some people, and depending on where you are in the world, it will be tomorrow. Okay, I want that one. Ooh, it's way down in the bottom of the bag. Yeah, okay. That's Manaz. That's the rune for the self. And I'm going to read it from the book. It talks about the rune for joy. When you look in the mirror and you see yourself. All right, hang on, guys. I'm going to turn and we will check it out. See? The self. So the starting point for all of this, everything I've been yakking about, is the self. So focus on yourself just for this moment. For this sweet, intense moment. Go deeply inward. Look at the mirror of your own self, your own existence. Look in the mirror and look deep into your eyes. Do you see the spirit that dwells within you? That's the point. That's what we're completing. It's beautiful. So the starting point is the self, and its essence is water. And we have the Ten of Cups. We've got Turtle Island here, water, the water element. It's all over this reading, and we started with the Three of Swords. It's incredibly beautiful. So only clarity and willingness to change is effective now in this moment. A correct relationship to yourself is primary, for from it flow all possible right relationships that are desired with others and with the divine. It's time to remain modest. That is the oracle's counsel. Regardless of how great may be your merit, all you Aries mouth goddesses, be careful. It's going to be hot and you're going to be triggered. So, regardless of how great may be your merit, it's time to be yielding, be devoted, be moderate, for then you have a true direction in your life. Be in the world, but not of the world. And yet do not be closed, do not be narrow, do not be judging. Rather, remain receptive to the impulses that are flowing through to you from the divine, within and externally. Strive to live the ordinary life in the non-ordinary way. And remember at all times what is coming to be and what is passing away. Ooh, boy, there's a lot of energy streaming in. So that's the focus that my guides want to put their emphasis on, because there's an amazing amount of energy streaming in. It's coming in through my back, through my heart chakra, and through my back, and swirling around in that place. And then, of course, because I'm human, I have a physiologic response, and it comes up my throat. It's interesting. Whew. So remember at all times what is coming to be and what is passing away, and focus on that which is meant to abide. Nothing less is called from each of us in this moment. This is a time of major growth and rectification. And as a rule, rectification must come before progress. Thank you, Spirit. That's what this is about, looking. Rectification before progress. And that's just how it came out, just like this. All right. 7 of Wands, the Sun card. So we've got a ways to go. We know. We're talking about this process going forward for the next 6 months, straight through to January. And whoever's going to be the President of the United States, or leadership changes that are happening in other places of the world, they're going to be walking into something that is, there's going to be some very brand new foundation. I think there's still going to be a lot of carnage left behind, wreckage, my guides are calling it. They're walking into the wreckage in order to bring forward what the new is going to be. So rectification comes before progress. The field is tilled before the seed is planted, and the garden is weeded before the flower blooms. And the self must know stillness before it can discover its true song. Instead of seeking credit for accomplishments or focusing on results, be content to do your task for the task's sake. That is what is the most important thing now. Herein lies the experience of being truly present. If you take the rune for the self and you cut it down the middle, you will see the rune for joy with its mirror image. That's what's buried inside this adventure that we're having, inside the 7 of Wands, all the strife. There is a mirror image to those things that when you cut it down the middle and you really look at it, you're able to see something else. That's what this is talking about. Whew. If you take the rune and you look at the image for joy, it brings forward a subtle caution against carelessness, because the self is required to balance the self. So my guides are talking about the staff, and they were talking about, those stories from the Judeo-Christian tradition, the parting of the sea and walking through the staff with the staff through the middle. So we're going to be split open. Well, it's already happening, we know. But the purpose is not for destruction. It is so that we can see the mirror image in each person that we encounter of ourself. And that's all my guy just said, and that's all the philosophy that's ever been spoken about throughout time. That kind of a moment is what they're talking about. So with the self being required to balance the self, we reflect on the words written over the temple at Delphi. Nothing in excess was the second phrase, written over the gateway to the temple. The first counsel was know thyself. So, when we get, and certainly me as an Aries mouth goddess, when we get all riled up and fired up and angry, and I've experienced a lot of that in the last, 3 years, 4 years, it's important to remember that in some way, my guides are saying, in some philosophical way we think it through, but we don't totally understand that we are looking at a mirror image of ourselves, both aspects of who we are. The Plutonian deep energy that creates discord, and my guides are talking about discordant power, things like that. So as a collective, we find ourselves here. We created it, didn't we? And we think we didn't, but we did. So be gentle with your vision into this mirror image while we continue to have these conflicts and, feeling our defensiveness, feeling ourselves dig our heels in so that we can come to some place of understanding each other and hopefully come toward the middle way, the beauty way, and move forward from there. So gang, pardon me. I think that's the focus. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your presence on this day. It means a lot to me. I'm feeling the energy in a way that's really, it is earth-shaking for me. And there's a lot of change coming forward in this place where I am and in this place where I am. So my guides are now they're talking about the meditation. We focus on the I am. What does that really mean? You as an energetic intention of the universe. Your light traveling how many millions of light years through the shimmering darkness to be here in this moment, to bring this reflection and to understand yourself as a portal for the intention of the universe. That's why we're here. Depending on what you believe. Many of us believe that we came here through some kind of intention in order to have a soul journey, to participate in this very reverent moment. So in these days, on this day in particular, while we sit here with our broken hearts, wanting a way to stop the fighting so that we can come forward into the love energy and take the swords out and repair our hearts. First, we had to have the battle. Then it cracked us open so that our heart is available. And there we are. Okay? So my guides are saying that's the alpha and the omega of the moment. It's just important to understand it. So gang, I'm going to come over to the chat room. All of you that have to head out for the day, thanks for being here. And I'll look forward to seeing you. The link to join the meditation tomorrow, the link is below the video. You can also just go to my website, Moonrise Cottage, and go to meditation and events. There's, the breadcrumbs along the top. Just click on it, and you'll see it listed there. It's $11.11. Okay? Gang, thanks for being here. Bye. All right, gang. Hey, everybody. Let me just give me a minute to say hi. Tani's here. Hey, Cecilia. Hi. Laura. Hi. Isel. Oh, hello from Holland. Hey, thank you for chiming in. It's always fun to figure out where people are in the world. Jean, wonderful to see you from Cape Town. Oh my gosh. If you folks are available, one of my warm fuzzy fantasies is that we'll be able to have people from all these different points of energy around the world. So if you're available and that time frame works for you, please join us tomorrow. We would love to have you. It will make a difference. Hi, Donald. Good to see you. So you just ended a toxic relationship with your neighbor. Yeah, so did I. These are the kinds of things, right? These are all the places that we're experiencing them. And basically, in my situation, what I finally did, I guess I won't go into the story, but it has to do with the place in which we live. There's no municipality that maintains the roadway, so we have to do it. And it's been a sore point for the entire 20 years that I've lived here, because people who live in certain section of the roadway don't want to pay to upgrade the rest of the roadway. It's that kind of crazy. It's just like, we're a community. Can we just all chip in and get it done when we need to do this? And finally I realized, oh wait, I'm feeling stressed and I'm feeling angry and I'm feeling resentment. And the only reason is because I'm keeping myself tied to this. So I have a perspective, and I just finally said, you know what? Going forward from here, I'm not available for this. Do not ask me to participate, because I will not participate in this. And I feel free. I freed myself. So I could be mad at them, or I could look at my own behavior and say, what am I doing that's making me feel so angry? And as in any toxic relationship, you're the one who's deciding to stay there, aren't you? So good for you. And I think that brings forward the appropriate type of pressure, if you will, that brings change for yourself and for your relationship partner, even if it's on a family level. Let's see. Jeffrey, hi. Yes, Jeffrey, a lot of the cards are the same as the Taurus reading. You know why? Because Taurus has Uranus. It's all about the earth energy bringing the awakening. So what's happening is this partnership kind of behind the scenes. Pluto's doing its job in Capricorn, the cardinal earth sign. So we know massive shift and change on the earth every time Pluto is in Capricorn, however many hundreds of years apart those things are. There's always massive social upheaval and unrest and massive shift and change. Uranus joins the party, standing in another earth sign, and that brings forward the awakening. I'm so glad you noticed that, because you're specifically correct, my guides are saying. So thank you for bringing that notation forward. So Tani, you've been donating to Kiva as well. And more down ballot progressives. Yeah, we'll see. We have to choose. All those people in those places, they have to choose. And because of the way the dominant power structure in some of those states has been allowed to proliferate itself, they've protected themselves from change by doing voter suppression. So I think that's going to be ending now. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. And it's the people in those places that need to raise their voices the loudest. But I'll give them $3 to help them. Definitely. So Jeffrey, you're talking about the rune. Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it? It's always, my guides are so good at pulling those things and pulling the cards and having the discussion that they want to have. Jean, thank you. You're talking about the reading. Yeah, thank you. And I really want to sincerely tell everybody, the readings come out and the participation that you bring when you are here for this is critically important. So yes, I appreciate your love and your support and your thanks, and I really want to mirror that back to you. I really, truly do, because it is that mirror reflection that the guides are talking about. So, we are all connected and we are part of each other, definitely energetically. Yeah, Tani, I'm reading your message about searching among the branches for what's already in the roots. Definitely. It is woven deep inside of us. Hey, Jennifer, hi. You are welcome. Hi, Darlene. Another person from Johannesburg. I'm so happy about that. Hey, hi. You're holding on for dear life. A lot of people are feeling that way, especially if you're an earth sign. I've been feeling incredibly compressed. I can literally feel the pressure of this. I believe most of us can if you really pay attention. And I've been very tired. And that's going to be part of the effect as well. So take care of yourself. Stay home. I'm triggered. I mean, I've had to have a long talk with myself as an Aries mouth goddess. You know, I'm a Virgo, so I'm grounded and I can pull it back. But I can also get easily triggered and verbally assaultive and aggressive. I went to the grocery store. I go out once a week. So I live, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes from town where the stores are, my guides are saying. So I make a list, and I don't have mail delivery here, so I go to the post office, I take my recycling, I do a little bit of grocery store shopping, then I go to the farm, pick up my farm CSA order, and etc. The little sundries that I need, and then I come home and I don't go out again for another week. That's my contribution. And because I feel that I'm in the high risk pool, I certainly don't want to have that experience. And that's my, that's my commitment, and that's my safety valve, I guess. So I'm in the grocery store in a town of probably 15,000, not a huge city. And everybody has a mask on. Everybody. And I thought, good for you. People are really starting to get it. And then, of course, there are these two young guys. My guys just said, 2 young bucks. And they step up to the cash register. They're not paying attention to the lines on the floor that keeps everybody 6 feet apart. They're oblivious. Neither one of them have masks on. They're buying beer because the weekend's coming. And they turn around, they look at me. And I have on, not only do I have eye shield on, I also have on a respirator mask that has the cones on the outside, because I'm a retired nurse. I'm not playing. I know this is Ebola. It's respiratory Ebola in a sense. That's the seriousness of this. I'm not playing with this. Not at all. I don't ever want to go into a public space. Sometimes we have to. So they looked at me and they said, well, why do you have that on? And I thought, you know how much I want to tell you? Let me tell you something you need to know. And luckily, I got the cone on my mouth so nobody could hear me, and I could just be my arrogant, haughty, self-righteous Aries mouth goddess, and nobody could hear what I was saying. So, those are the things that trigger me, because those kids are going to get sick. And if they get really sick, they're going to want to go to a hospital, and they're going to want a nurse like me to take care of them, risk my life, because you won't wear a mask. That's the stuff that triggers me. So just pay attention to your triggers. Know yourself that way. Do your best. I'm taking care of my business by just staying home so I don't have to deal with being triggered, if possible. So Kama, hi Isel, I'm seeing your wave. Kama, your sun, your moon, your rising are all earth. Yeah, so you are, darling, you're just so compressed. What's happening? The pressure of the earth is compressing. That's how the mineral kingdom comes forward. All the beautiful crystals, diamonds, rubies. My guys they're showing me the way crystals grow up out of the earth, which is what happens here in this place every spring. Crystals literally grow and begin to poke up through the earth out in the meadow, and I go out and harvest them in the spring. So that's part of what's going on, and we're talking now about your energy and your frequency set point rising up from within you in order to be present here on the earth. In order for that to happen, there has to be a lot of compression. Hi, Knitting Yogi. Don't worry about being late. This will publish into a video. If you're late, you can go watch it later. So your sun is in Capricorn. Rising is Libra, moon is Scorpio. Oh, yeah. You missed the fire, but you know what? Your sun is in Capricorn. So you're leading the way forward, your energy, your strings of quantum energy. And your rising sign is Libra. So think about yourself in these moments. Earth energy, Capricorn, Pluto, compression, destruction, rebirth, and you have Libra. So your energy working here in the world focused in the place of the North Node through your rising sign. And what's going on with Pluto in Capricorn. It's an intense expression. And I would imagine that you are feeling this very deeply because of the expression that you bring through the intention of the universe. You showed up here with that. So I would encourage everybody to look deeply into your chart. It will help you understand your soul intention and the commitment that you made. Because, well, I don't know what you believe, but I do believe that we all chose to come here. And my guides are talking about the return. There are more people standing on the planet than ever before, as far as we know. And I think that part of it is that there are a lot of energy, quantum energy fields, strings of energy expressed in human form, standing here for this purpose. So look at your chart and try to understand what your purpose is. What is the intention the universe is expressing through your being? What was your intention? And you'll understand how you're serving all of humanity just by being here. And my guides talk about it all the time. You are your purpose, nothing else. There's nothing else. So there are some interesting discussions that are coming forward. I think once this immediate moment, I'm challenging myself to shift and grow, continue my channel, and allow things to emerge that I've not spoken to really yet along those lines. So hopefully when these moments have settled enough and we begin to emerge out of the compression phase of this, I think there's going to be a lot of beauty rising up, like the crystals that rise up in the meadow. Knitting yogi. I so want to know what that's all about. I love that. I know a woman who travels all over the world. She's a textile artist, and she teaches knitting. And she has a website, and she literally travels all over the world holding all these fabulous workshops. She's an amazing person. I saw you loving my personal talk. You know, I'm chill, except when I'm an Aries mouth goddess. Then I'm not. Can you imagine? Ooh! It can be hot. So, you know, my goal is always to just be a real human being. I'm lucky to have the gifts that I have. And I've lived enough life, I guess, to understand that the most important thing I can be is real. With all of me, and show up with all of me, given to the point where it's appropriate in any moment. So I would never seek to suggest that I am more perfected or more elevated than anybody else. I'm just here in the form that I'm here. I have my quantum strings of energy, and it describes my desires and the way my life is organized. So I think it's true for all of us, and I just want to stand in that. Because if my mission, and it is, part of my goal is I want to help people understand themselves, understand their pathway, find their sacred identity. That's my gig. I'm a soul whisperer. I can see into your soul if you come for a reading and tell you what's going on for you and why you're feeling the way you're feeling. I can't put on airs if that's my work, could I? I mean, how would it be? And it would just be a massive distortion. So, and because I'm a Virgo, I'm humble. So I don't have any need for it. And I feel grateful for that. So let's see, hang on. People are saying things, and I got to scroll back up the chat. Hi, Anita. You're like me. You're not chancing it. No. No. You know what? I was a smoker, not a heavy smoker, but I smoked off and on over some significant years of my life. And there were times when I quit for 10 years, and then something would happen. I'd get triggered, and I'd start smoking. You know, sometimes like you go to a wedding and people are drinking champagne or whatever, and somebody says, "Here, you want a cigarette?" And then I would say, "Oh, yeah." And then 2 days later, I'm at the store buying a pack, and then 5 years goes by. That's my level of addiction. So I think, oh, I've already got lung damage. I can't play with this. I want to live to see my grandchildren that aren't existing yet. I saw you're talking about exploration. Yeah, I understand. You're 51. It is never too late. It is never too late. I was 58 when I went and got my master's degree to vault myself forward in my healthcare profession. And I worked for 6 months after my degree. And in that time, I had an internal personal crisis. And I thought, I cannot waste one more year of my life doing something that I am not in alignment with. I've got to go do my sacred work. It's been chasing me my whole life. And here I am. So, on the surface, that's crazy, isn't it, to do that? But that's what it means to be in alignment with yourself. So I took a lot of calculated risks. I went through a lot of compression. It was really scary for me, but I'm growing into it. And I've been here on YouTube for, I guess, coming up on 3 years now. And slowly by slowly, I'm growing into that part of myself that was unexplored. I knew a lot of things happened in my life, but it was not expressed. My guides are telling me it was explored, but not expressed. So that's the point of the exploration, so that you can know yourself, and then eventually you find ways to begin to express that. And then you're free. Even if you're still working 9 to 5, you're free because you're home in yourself. And that's what we're talking about. The mirror image of yourself. What are the two halves of you? What happens if you open that by cutting it down the middle? What do you see? And I like it. I like the way it came out in this way. That's what we see. Isn't that amazing? I love it. It's perfect. Yeah, beautiful. All right, ZT Global. Reading your message. Oh, your Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon, Sag Rising. Well, again, think about the implications of what that means for you as a spirit being. And thank you for being here. All the folks who are talking about being Capricorns and the fire sign people, and the way it has shifted in, well, I'm talking about the nodes now. So, we have this Capricorn eclipse. It is finishing the cycle where Capricorn was in the south node and Cancer was in the north node. And all the love energy came forward. It got spun up. Our hearts got cracked open because tragedies happened. We're all brokenhearted, right? That's what that work was all about. And then the nodes shifted, and the love energy, then because of all the heartbreak, the love energy was literally into the atmosphere, and the nodes shifted into Gemini. Look, thank you, Spirit. My guys are saying, do you understand what they're saying? The twins, the sacred twins, two halves of yourself. So that's energetically what's going on. So Capricorn is going to be, this is the final destination of all of that work that's been going on. And now this final eclipse in Capricorn is going to finish the last 18 months. And then Capricorn is going to be, in a sense, released. You're going to feel less pressure, I think, in your life. And you're going to be able to come into the place, some of you who are having this issue, where you're going to be rebuilding. Slowly. We've got Pluto and Capricorn, I think, for, 2.5, 3 more years, something like that. But then what's going to happen is it's going to move into, Pluto's going to move into Aquarius to join Gemini in the north node. So think about the shift and the release and the coming forward of the rebuilding phase. So it's extremely poetic if you understand the astrology in that way, and what energy you carry, what you represent while you're standing here with all this going on. Which part of the intention do you represent? And allow yourself to stand in the full knowledge and the joy of that, so that you can really be here knowing that you're sacred and that you're perfect the way you are, because you are. Do you have in your human life some personal growth to do? Of course, we all do. I'm still learning about controlling the intensity of my Aries energy. It's hot up in here sometimes. And I've got Virgo, which adds more pressure because, Virgos want everything to be well ordered and spinning like a top. And when things are out of order, then we get annoyed. So couple that with some Aries mouth goddess, and there can be some challenges that Miss Mary Ellen experiences. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. ZT Global. Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon, you are thinking about awakening. Do you realize that your thought process is being utilized and setting up a vibration that goes out into the atmosphere on the strings of energy that exist to help humanity awaken? It's going out on the vibrational essence that is the shimmering universe reflected here in this place as the atmosphere. So it's just so beautiful. These are the places that help me to find the beauty in every person that I encounter. That is just so beautiful to ponder. And Sag rising. Okay, knitting yoga. You only go out once a week. Yeah, you're a Virgo. With again, Virgo with Aquarius rising. Stability in energy, bringing forward the spinning motion of bringing things into their proper alignment while you carry the energy rising up from within your being of the dawn of our destiny. Vision, stable, grounded vision. It's fabulous. Sometimes I think I have the best job in the world that ever existed. So knitting yogi, you're a yoga teacher and a knitter. That's awesome. I love that. Knitting yogi, do you know Knitting Traditions? Do you know that website? Do you know that lady? You'd probably love her. She's a friend of mine. She lives here in this area. And she's just an amazing human being. I love her. All right, Kama, I'm looking at your message. You're in Florida. You're an RN. God bless you. You took time off to go hunting for everything on one day. Stay home with your children. Yeah, feels like you're a spiritual ICU. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I'm glad you took time off. You don't need to be in the middle of that fray, especially if you have kids. But when I get angry about when I see the people without the masks, or you sure you need to go to a party? Is that what you really need to do? Because you're putting my life at risk. I get so angry about it. That's part of my Aries flare at the moment. I feel as though every nurse should go on strike for a week. Can you hear us now? Y'all have to stop. Because what's going to happen if we're not available? How is it okay for you to not wear a mask or go to a party or go to the beach or whatever? My guys are saying go to a rave and be that irresponsible with the lives of others. And then have the expectation that you'll be able to go to a hospital and put all of those people at risk. I'm so glad I'm retired. No way I'd be quitting my job. So if you're still working, bless you. I will put a light around you, okay? Tiny, I'm reading your message about your astrology lineup. Darling, your sun in Sag, moon in Taurus, ooh, ascendant Leo. See, think about yourself, you guys. Look at the beauty, just in the beauty lineup of the energy and what you represent. High energy rocks. Magical blessings back to you. You're a double cap. Oh, my gorgeous darling, Cancer rising. Oh, Lord, you're feeling it, aren't you? Oh, my gosh. CT Global, you've been listening to me for 2 years. And you have been awakening mode. Yeah, think about it. Yes, you have. Okay, I'm reading Knitting Yoga. I'm reading your message. And there's somebody here named Light Vision 22. Big hugs from Fairbanks. Yay! Oh, it's so nice to see you here. This is part of what I love about this, is that we get to be together in this little encapsulated place. Feeling the vibe, feeling the energy. I'm feeling it. With all these people in all these places around the world. I've never yet had anybody chime in from Antarctica. That's one of my fantasies. I think someday. And then we'll have all these little points on the map all around the world, and we'll be able to be together and do a meditation and do some astral travel out into the shimmering universe to assist what's coming forward. Hi, TD. Thank you for your blessings. You're a Scorpio sun and moon with Capricorn rising. Oh, my darling. Oh, my goodness. Very intense. Yeah, energy rocks. Yeah, immensely. I know you are, darling. I know. It's intense, isn't it? So you want to know if I'm an Aries moon. And my Venus. Okay, so here's what I finally started really delving into my chart a year ago. So I am a Gemini moon. I have Cancer in the 4th house. I have Scorpio in the 8th house along with Vesta. And I have Pisces and Mars in the 12th house. So God bless me. That's a lot of intensity, but it helps me understand my clairvoyance and how it operates and why. I just want to go to the bottom of the ocean all the time, and I'm constantly in this death and rebirth cycle in the 8th house. And, Mars in the 12th house with Pisces, I guess then, yeah, I am a spiritual warrior, and that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here on some level, and the spiritual warrior's biggest battle is always with the self. So, true for me. It's 111 your time, energy rocks. That's awesome. Thank you for noting that. Let me look. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. That's beautiful. All right, gang. It is my time. It's 2:12 here now at the moment. So I'm going to wrap unless anybody has any other thoughts they want to share. I'd love to hear them. Or questions. Thank you, Isel. All right, gang. Enjoy the stay of Eclipse. And for those of you that are in other time zones, the eclipse is going to be tomorrow. So again, my guides are inviting you to come to the meditation if you're able to at all. I do charge for it. It's $11.11 so that we can spin up that energy. And we have a fabulous group of folks that get together for that weekly. So we'll be meditating together tomorrow, traveling out into the shimmering universe. And then on the 12th, the day that Mercury goes direct, will be our last formal meeting. And then I'm going to take a pause and consider how we go forward. But I believe those types of activities stemming from my channel will continue to go forward. And that's part of the shift and change that is meant to happen for me in terms of a little bit more of me creeping out from behind the Virgo shyness to engage in ways that I haven't done before. And I'm growing into my comfort level and very grateful to the people who came to this first meditation class. So I think going forward, we're going to be working on manifestation. We're going to be working on this coming into the awareness of our energetic essence through traveling out into the shimmering universe. So if you have any questions or if you want to join, come. You don't have to make a giant commitment. You can come and pay by the week. It's fine with me, just to check it out. Because I'd love for everybody to come, and I'm looking forward to building that group over time. That's part of my goal. And I would love to have people from all the distant places from the earthly universe. That would excite me to no end. So let's see. Darlene, you're welcome. Hi, Wally. Love you too. You missed most of it. That's okay. So what happens is it probably takes an hour, maybe two, because today I have to go to the farm. I went to the farm to pick up my groceries yesterday, and I forgot half of them. There were 2 bagfuls. You should see them. Oh my God, it's just, I never realized, because I've always been a grocery store person, The types of things that come into my house from that farm are the most beautiful vegetables I've ever seen. It's blowing my mind week after week. So last week or yesterday I left a bag behind. I gotta go get it. So the video, it'll probably take 2 hours, but this live stream will turn into a video and it will post on my channel. Okay? So first I gotta run out to the farm, and then I'll come back and YouTube will be done with its processing. I'll probably edit a little bit so that it's not so dang long. So don't worry about it. ISIL healing vibes for everybody and for yourself, absolutely. You are so welcome. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am with you. And we are with each other. We just now need to come into the clear focus of that. When is the meditation? The meditation is, we meet on Sunday afternoons at 1 o'clock. And so, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can move myself out of the way so you can see behind me. I've got to change my viewpoint. There, see my instrument sitting in the background? So that's a tambura. It makes an incredible type of music that is about vibration. And that vibration, each note that is plucked, each string has 22 microtones, and they vibrate and they change your brainwave and they help you literally connect to the universe. So we do a very beautiful 2-hour session, sometimes 3, so like this. We hang out afterwards and chat about the experiences that we had. So tomorrow, which is Sunday here in the northeast of the United States at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, you can go to the website, and it's easy. It's PayPal. You just sort of click on it and you enter your information. You will get a link because we do it with Zoom. So you'll get a link. You'll get a confirmation email. It should have a quote-unquote a ticket in it with the information, the link. Okay? So I'd love to have you all with us. That would just be very thrilling for me. So yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Oh, you do Kundalini yoga. Okay. Knitting yoga, you understand. All right. Well, gang, thanks a lot. I'm just sending all my love and appreciation to each and every one of you for being here, and have a wonderful day. Yes, ISIL, it is PayPal. So for some people in some places, PayPal can be an issue. If it is and you want to join, there's Google Pay. There's lots of ways to get it done, so don't worry about it, okay? Thanks, Wally. Faye. Mwah. Everybody have a great afternoon. Enjoy the remainder of your weekend. Join us tomorrow if you are able to. And we'll be meditating tomorrow, and we'll be meditating the next week. I'm going to try to crank out some mid-month readings. We'll see if I'm successful depending on everything that's going on here that I need to take care of. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.